Let's talk about one of the smallest landlord play that were left in 26, using a tax equity partner to grab the last round of energy deduction before they expire under the big beautiful tax bill. Now, stay with me because the strategy sounds simple on the surface, but it's one of those things that separates a reactive investor from a strategic one. We are going to go deep to how it works, why it matters right now for you, and how you can light it up so you can still keep the building, still take the bonus depreciation, and still win after 2026 when everyone else already missed the boat. So right now it's June 26th. So the clock is ticking. Every landlord who didn't pay attention last year is realizing they might miss out on the energy efficiency and clean building tax break from the big beautiful tax bill, right? The one that got attended just long enough to die in this year, 2026. So here is some facts for you to refresh. So Section 179 new deductions for energy efficient commercial buildings. That's the big one, but it's only available if construction starts by June 30th, 26. Not when it is finished, not when you pay your contractor. So construction must start by that date. If your project doesn't break ground before that cutoff, you lose the 2026 version period, and after that, the rules change, and that's what's making landlord panic right now. They got good projects, so HVAC upgrade, solar retrofit, building envelope work, but bad timing. So they can't finish fast enough or don't have enough taxable income to use the deduction this year. But there's a workaround. So that's the whole point of this video that I want to show you a workaround. So if you can't use the 26 benefit yourself, you bring in tax equity partner who can. Let me say that again because this is the entire game. You bring in someone with 26 tax appetite, give them a slide of the project, they tax the deduction, and you keep the property. So you're basically splitting the benefit. They get the tax write-up, you get the long-term access. That's why this strategy works. It's not about giving up ownership. It's about using other people's tax capacity to finish projects that would otherwise sit dead in the water. Think about it. You've got a property that half finished or waiting for funds. You got no 2026 tax liability big enough to absorb 2K deduction. You could let the project stall, or you could bring in someone who don't have the liability, let them fund it, and still walk away with the improved property. That's the win-win. So the bill actually allows you to stay within the 26 construction start deadline. You get the deduction, and you get the building upgrade that boosts your rent and resale value. Let's make it quick. Put some number into it. Say you got a 14-unit short-term rental cluster you bought in 24. You already spent 220K in HVAC, insulation, and solar upgrades. You don't have the 26 taxable income to use the deduction. Maybe you had a slower year or a big loss carried forward, but your friend who sold a business this year does. So you create a small partnership class inside your LLC for energy participants. So your friend invests, like say, 150K in June 26 right now before the deadline. The operating agreement say they get the Section 179D deduction from the 26 project proportional to their capital. You start construction before June 31st, finish before the end of the year, and the investor tax that deduction on the 26th return. You keep the building, the rent, and the appreciation. And here's the bonus slurry. You also take the 100% bonus depreciation on the other improvement you bought after January 1925, which is what? Lighting system, security upgrade, paving, furniture, finishes, all that qualifies. So why your investor walk away with 26 energy deduction? You still write up your own portion of the improvement under the big, beautiful bill permanent 100% bonus rule. So that's the double play, right? The investor gets the short-term deduction. You get the long-term bonus and the building. Now let's just hit pause and let's zoom out a little bit because here's the mistake most landlords make. They think the strategy is a one-off for 26. It's not. It's actually part of a multi-year timeline that the bill created. Here's a way to see it. Think of 26 as your phase one. where you want to capture or share a year. So you want to grab the last of the expiring energy deduction. 27 to 2030 is like your phase two. So that's when your expensing window is. We get to fully write off new non-residential or operational improvements under the permanent 100% bonus rule. So even if you can't use 26 deduction, you're not out of the game. You're just shifting lane. You let someone else take the short-term benefit in 26, then you pivot to the long-term expensing phase that keep rolling until 2030. That's how smart money will play it. They are not stressing about missing the credit. They are planning to use both sides of the bill. Now let's talk about why it works so well for real estate. So when Congress wrote the big beautiful tax bill, they make a very specific decision. Make bonus depreciation permanent for property acquired and placed in service after January 1925. That means as long as your property or improvements were purchased after that date, you get to extend a percent of the cost right away. But the energy efficient provision was temporary. They got a mid-26 cutoff, meaning they were meant to light a short fuse. So Congress wanted a rush of construction, not a slow rollout. So what happens when you combine those two ideas? You get this perfect overlap. So 26 is the bridge year when the old energy rules and the new bonus rule multiply. That's why the tax equity play is so powerful. You're basically paying someone else's short-term tax appetite with your long-term bonus depreciation. So it's the same asset, two benefits, two timelines, one immediate, one extended. Now here where I want you to really lock that in because it's the heart of it. You can use the deduction, don't waste the year. Partner with someone who can. Let them fund the work, keep the property, then immediately roll your next phase of improvement into the bonus depreciation side. That's how you stretch 1 year of sunset into 5 years of tax leverage. You are not just fixing timing, you are stacking timing. Think about it like this. 26 give you the credit or deduction, 27 to 30 give you the expensing, one feed into the other. You build now, you spend later, and you keep the asset the whole time. Let's hit this one more time from another angle because I really wanted to stick for you. So most people would think I missed the credit. Oh well, that's not how the real game works. Tax equity partner is your bridge. They turn your missed credit into capital you can actually use. And because you still qualify for 100% bonus depreciation on the property you buy after January 19, 2025, you are not left with nothing. You are left with permanent expenses. So the energy credit goes to the partner, the depreciation goes to you, and the property becomes more valuable either way. That's why I keep saying 26 is the year to share benefits. Excuse me. 27 to 2030 are the years to own the expenses. This is exactly how family offices, syndicators, and high-level investors are structuring their project right now. So now, before you start calling investors, these are the few things you have to get right. First, construction start date. This has to begin by June 30th, 2026 for the 26 version of energy deductions apply. Second, the property type. 179D apply to commercial and certain mixed-use buildings. Don't assume short-term rental qualify automatically. You want to check your zoning and building classification. Third, the allocation, your investor capital must line up with the share, the tax benefit they get. You can't just hand out a deduction to someone who barely invested. And fourth, acquisition timing. Your bonus eligible improvements must be acquired after January 1925. The date is the gateway to 100% bonus depreciation. Get those four things right and the whole structure works cleanly.